I didn't have to worry about like getting a bunch of fast food, or I was completely prepared because I batched like that and I did some healthy meal prep, and I didn't overcomplicate it. Hey there, I'm Ashley, mom of 4 and creator of Reps and Redemption. Join me as I share my passion for health education, explore all things fitness and nutrition, plus share a little faith-filled homemaking along the way. If you're a mom ready to build strength and live a life of epic redemption, this podcast is for you. Let's get after it. Welcome back to Reps and Redemption. I am happy you are with me today. This episode is all about meal prepping, healthy meal prep made easy, and a couple of large family tips that I have learned along the way. Now, before I start diving into these steps that are fairly simple, I just want you to listen to them and then make them your own. And maybe you need to tweak some things, add some things, take some things away. And I would love to hear what you do out of curiosity. I want to see what you can teach me and what I can implement in my daily routine and my meal prepping routine that usually happens on a Sunday or Monday. So with that said, let's dive into the meat of the episode. Healthy meal prep made easy. So here we go. Number 1 is going to be a kitchen scale. And if you don't have one, they are on Amazon. They are at, any store you really go shopping at. Grab one. It's probably less than $20. And get one that tells you, I think most of them do tell you ounces, grams. I don't know if there's any other ones out there that don't do that, but I look at the grams and the ounces the most, and there's a couple other features on there as well. So once you have your kitchen scale, you're going to, step 2, determine the length of time that you want this meal prep to last you and your family. So for example, we meal prep on Sunday, and I would like the food to last and make it to Wednesday. So I don't have to worry about really any food on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. And then on Wednesday, I'll figure out Thursday through Saturday, if that makes sense. And when I'm sharing this with you, like we might do some things that are different here for breakfast and lunch, but I'll implement these meals that we make here for lunch and dinner. So then I can just fill in the gaps with things that I have on hand, homemade bagels, which I make often for breakfast, for bagel, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and things like that. So that's number 2, determine the length of time. And then step 3, I'm going to run through these fast. Step 3, shop clean and grass-fed when you can, but I am learning, with having a large family, this gets very, very expensive. So when and where I can shop grass-fed, farm-raised, I will do so. And then if not, I will get like the next best thing. So I just want to put that out there that it's okay. You got to do what you got to do. So with step 3, shopping clean and grass-fed when you can, pick 2 to 3 proteins. So usually what we do is we do 1 lean and 1 fatty protein. So for example, ground beef and chicken breasts, for example, and then I might add in like chicken burgers or like from Trader Joe's, or I think you say it Amylu or Amylu, it's Amylu. Those chicken burgers are at Costco. They're amazing. I like them when I, make them a little bit more fancy, but my husband and my eldest, they really like those. Or sometimes I'll do like the Italian sausages. But right now, I'm actually thawing out those sausages. So what you're going to want to do once you pick your proteins, and maybe this will help you figure out how much you need. But for example, I average, and sometimes we don't eat this much, and it'll just roll over to the next day or the next meal. And trust me when I say all of this gets used for sure. And sometimes I'm good until Thursday. So it just kind of depends. But for per day, for my husband, I average about 16 ounces. He averages about 16 ounces of protein per day, 8 ounces for me, 8 ounces for my oldest, 2 ounces for my 6-year-old. And I always plan 2 ounces for my 1-year-old because honestly, sometimes she eats more than my 6-year-old. And then I can stretch theirs out a little bit more, or if they're really hungry and they want more chicken, like they have it and it's fine. Or I can throw their ground beef in the spaghetti that I make them. So when you total that up, that's 36 ounces of protein. So times three, in 3 days, I need 108 ounces of protein for 3 days, or 144 ounces for 4 days. So this is just how I kind of do it. And then before we do this, we kind of see, what's on sale at Costco, mainly is what we do. And then we live really far now from Whole Foods. We used to go there a lot, and we really like a lot of they used to do that STEP program. I don't know if they still do it, but we like a lot of their things too, but we have to be cost effective as well. So if I'm looking at 188 ounces of protein for 3 days, or 144 ounces for 4 days, also depending on what's coming up that week, if I know that we're going to be quite busy, and I won't be able to stand, in the kitchen or over the oven, cooking some things up. But also bonus, if the chicken's already cooked or the beef's already cooked, I could cook up something very quickly and make it, like I said before, the girls love spaghetti, and I'll add it like a meat sauce to it, and the meat's already made. So half the job is done, which is super helpful. But the Costco chicken breast bag, I think, is about like $20, and that's 104 ounces of protein right there. And then the grass-fed ground beef is 64 ounces. And then you can fill in, if you needed, like that's 3 days for us for sure. So just cooking up those two things. But if I did a little bit less of the chicken and a little bit less of the beef, I can add in the chicken burgers or the Italian sausages. It just kind of depends on like what we had the week before and what we're kind of feeling like cooking. So there you have it. That's my little breakdown of how I figure out how much protein to make us. And then step 4, I have a few more, but step 4 is pick 1 to 2 sides. And honestly, this is if you have time, because once you cook all that protein, I use my Instapot, side note, from the protein, my Instapot, and the cast iron skillets, and then the oven as well. Just kind of depends on how quickly I need to get it done and what I feel like using in the moment. But step 4 is picking 1 to 2 sides. So like sweet potatoes, broccoli, jasmine rice. We really love doing the jasmine rice. It's super easy to make, and it stays good for several days. It's, once you heat it up, it's still fluffy. It's perfect. And we roast the broccoli in the oven. So then I have 1 cooked veggie and then a carb. Well, technically they're both carbs, but you know what I mean. We're getting those 2 there. And then I'll do some raw veggies on the side. Maybe for my kiddos, like we'll use the protein and the broccoli, and then maybe at that point I'll make some quick mac and cheese. If that's what they really want, I'll do it. You gotta pick your battles here. But it helps because they're still getting something healthy, and they're still getting something that that they should eat. That's really good for them. Step 5, select a playlist and start cooking. I like to use, depending on the mood, either classical music or metal music. It just kind of depends. And I'll roast the veggies in the oven. And then a lot of the times too, we do like keeping the vegetables raw. So we might even just make the protein and like rice or sweet potato, and then use like raw peppers and carrots and that sort of thing. And also with the Italian sausages that I'm thawing out right now, I'll make some sauerkraut tomorrow, and it won't be like super, super ready, but if I let it sit on the counter for about 3 days, it'll be ready and we can have it with the sausages. So I'll probably cook the sausages tomorrow while I make the sauerkraut, and then we'll eat some of them without the sauerkraut, but it's just so good with it. So I probably should have made that the other day, but I did not think we were going to pull out sausages today. So step 6, make sure you get some awesome seasonings and like delicious low-calorie sauces. What I've really learned recently is that a lot of people, they'll say like, I really don't eat that much. I only eat like once or twice a day, and I'm not seeing any progress with weight loss. And what I'm here to tell you that I know for sure, we can easily drink our calories. So for example, like dressings, coffee creamers, coffee syrups, that sort of thing. And you would be surprised. You would really be surprised if you started tracking your calories alone, how much is in a tablespoon of something. So I suggest getting some delicious low-calorie sauces and seasonings. I love Trader Joe's Everything But the Bagel seasoning. From Trader Joe's also is the sweet Thai chili sauce. That's pretty good. And low calorie also, the coconut aminos. And for like the beef, I like to use sriracha. I like spicy though, but the sriracha sauce, the organic sriracha sauce from Sprouts is amazing. And then I'll also use like Dijon or regular mustard to save on calories. I try not to use like what I used to do is like a ton of ranch dressing. And in looking back, if I were to really add it up, it'd probably be like, 300 calories worth of dressing in a day. Like it's just ridiculous. So you can still make it delicious, but it doesn't have to be like overboard with things that probably aren't that great for us anyways. But if that's your thing and that's your 20%, hey, go for it. I'm not gonna stop you there. Step 7, cool and store the protein in large containers. So like my husband or I will measure out 2 or 3 smaller containers and have his ready to go. So what it looks like mostly is he'll have one of those black containers and he'll have 8 ounces of chicken, maybe 3 or so ounces of jasmine rice, and then some roasted broccoli. And then I'll put the sauce on the chicken and we'll do like 3 of those and he'll have 3 lunches ready to go. And then I'll make a couple with beef and he can pick. And then if he gets home late, we do try to eat dinner together during the week, at least, 3 or 4 times. But it is a little bit difficult with our jiu-jitsu gym has classes, like it kind of there's a kids class and then there's an adult class. And sometimes my husband and my 6-year-old, they don't get home till like 9 o'clock. So, and I just would be starving by then. So sometimes I don't wait for them. But if you have those ready to go, for you or your husband, it's just super helpful because you can just walk out the door. You don't have to worry about like, oh, what am I eating? You already know. And step 8, let's see. It's step 7 was cool and store, and then step 8 is it's already made. So all you have to do is heat it up. So that's step 8 is just heat up your food. And if you can, I would measure your food out. So I don't pre-batch my food unless, for example, it's like our Bible study fellowship day and I know we're going to be gone like most of the day or out doing errands after the gym. So I will weigh my portion, like when I'm ready to eat lunch, I will weigh mine out then, and then we'll heat it up. And, it worked. We had my husband and my 6-year-old, they had their first jiu-jitsu competition. I think it was 2 weekends ago. It was amazing. It was just so awesome. And I packed and pre-batched like all of our food. And we did chicken, rice, veggies, protein bars. We were set. It was awesome. I didn't have to worry about like getting a bunch of fast food or I was completely prepared because I batched like that and I did some healthy meal prep and I didn't overcomplicate it. So that's honestly really the goal here is to not overcomplicate it. I'm talking really fast because I'm trying to get this episode in before my almost 2-year-old wakes up from her nap. And I wanted to get it recorded today. So bear with me, but I hope this has helped you and encouraged you that even if you do have a large family, you can meal prep and store in 2 or 3 large containers in your fridge. It's ready to go. Weigh out your food, weigh their food out. I like to see how much protein my little ones will eat. So I'll weigh out, 1 to 2 ounces. And lately they've been loving the chicken and rice with the sweet sauce and some broccoli on top. And that has been a hit. So I'm actually going to go for it again. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I shouldn't do that. I don't want to overkill, but they've been loving it. So I'm going to go for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So let's go from the top. Healthy meal prep ideas made easy. And this is for large families too, and some tips for you guys. Here we go. Get a kitchen scale. That is step 1. Step 2, determine how long you want the food to last. Step 3, pick 2 to 3 proteins. Step 4, 1 to 2 sides. Step 5, select a playlist and start cooking. Step 6, pick a low-calorie sauce and a seasoning from Trader Joe's or Costco. Step 7, cool and store in a large container. And step 8, already made, and all you have to do is heat it up and enjoy. If this episode inspired you, will you share with a friend? Remember, this podcast offers health education tips and holistic insights. please consult healthcare professionals for personalized advice. Until next time, Mama, be bold and live well.